All right, so it's crappy weather on the West Coast, but apparently beautiful weather on the East Coast. So we're gonna pivot our plans. Yes, I was planning on taking you guys around San Diego. I love San Diego, but it's a 90% chance of rain. I've never done anything while at this new DC hotel, but I think we need to because it's gonna be gorgeous. So I made myself breakfast, I'm gonna eat that, and a few more things to pack up in my food bag, and then we're going to head to King Soopers, head to the airport, have a great trip, come along for the adventure.
So I'm on the plane, we're in a 700. So it's not a bad galley. I sit back here alone during takeoff and landing. And then the C and I serve from this galley. 3 flights today, it's our long day. But this is a fun trip. Well, it's an easy trip. It goes 3 flights, 2 flights, 1 flight. And we're actually with our pilots all 3 days, which is kind of unheard of with us. So 3 today, we're headed to El Paso, Houston, and we change planes in Houston and go to DC. So let's get going.
All right, so I'm in the room eating my sushi. So on our first flight, we had some clear air turbulence. So clear air turbulence is what it sounds like. It's turbulence that comes out of nowhere. The air is clear, radar doesn't show anything, and yeah, so then we couldn't clean up on that flight. That clear air turbulence hit, and then it was bumpy all the way into El Paso, and so we just had to leave the last trash out there and just clean it up when we landed. And then we went from, did I say Lubbock? From El Paso to Houston. That went pretty good. And then Houston to DC, we had some drama. Room tour from my bed. We had a Spirit flight attendant bring us Cinnabons and cake pops. All right, so we started actually with drama in Denver, and that's because our plane was late coming in. The fueler was late for the plane that was on our gate. So that plane left late. So then our plane, which was coming in from Louisville, Kentucky, took time to get in. And then, so we were an hour late out of Denver. And so we just could not make that time up. So when we got to Houston, what happens a lot of times is they had another crew board the plane for us. So when we got to the plane, all of the passengers were on board. We just had to get on, put our gear up, and go. So we did that. The plane was so warm. And so we were like, you gotta cool it down. It was so warm. And then we push off the gate, and then we're not getting the ding to tell us that we're clear for departure. And it come to find out there was some sort of issue with one of the GPS on board. So they had to call maintenance, do a bunch of stuff. We didn't have to go back to the gate because they had a redundant GPS. There was another GPS. So they just had to do a bunch of paperwork. So we literally sat out for about an hour. We ended up only being 23 minutes late to DC, but those poor people were on the plane before we got there, and then the delay on the tarmac. So we had some drama today. Clear air turbulence, and then some delays and some maintenance. And I'm trying to figure out what I can do tomorrow. All right, so we're basically in Crystal City. If you're familiar with the DC area at all, my husband used to live nearby, so he was so excited, and he was trying to map the route for me to be able to go to the Air and Space Museum. But one of the trains is down, so the service is limited after like rush hour. And guys, it is 1:30 in the morning. I'm not going anywhere till like 10. And so it's like a 45-minute train ride to get there. I don't know, but I wanna go. I wanna go do something. I mentioned that I am in love with this new makeup bag. I'm gonna review that soon. I am in love with it. All right, so we haven't even cracked these open. A really nice flight attendant gave us these, some cake pops. I already ate my cake pop. So good. So I'm trying to plan routing so we can go out and do something tomorrow because it's supposed to be super rainy in San Diego. And the whole reason I kept this trip, the whole reason I wanted to take you on this trip was San Diego. Stupid San Diego. So I'm trying to work out routing. I've got to go to bed. I got to finish eating. I really want one of those Cinnabons. Like, oh my God. I mean, that was so generous of that flight attendant, but they were so like, I don't know how to get them out, like, and not make a mess, and there's no plates, and that's hard to do on a plane when we had 2 fast flights and then one that was kind of drama. Gonna finish eating, gonna go to bed. Let's see what happens tomorrow. So this is an Airbus flight simulator, and fun story is that I've actually flown one in real life a long time ago, way before even working for an airline was a thought. A friend invited me to the flight simulator and I had the privilege of flying it. It was really fun. So I actually got out of the hotel this time in DC, and I'm at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum today. I'm very proud of myself. I left the hotel. It's super fun. Let's walk around. So I loved the portions of the museum about space. I love space. And so it was really fun to see the Mars rovers, to see how big the engines are for the rockets. I just really enjoyed the space portion of this museum a lot. Apollo 13 is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I used to joke that I wanted to marry an astronaut. Everything's budding here. It makes me so jealous. Oh man, I'm gonna have to come back when it's open so I can compare it to Central Park and Disneyland. You know I love carousels. All right, so wow, National Capitol Building, the Washington Monument. All right, so that is actually behind me is the backside of the Air and Space Museum. United States Capitol, museums, Washington Monument. All right, it's lunchtime. Back in the room, had such a good time going on and exploring. I think I'm gonna like this overnight. As soon as they fix the yellow train so I don't have to take an Uber and it's only $2 to get to all the fun stuff, that'll be awesome. If you didn't know, the Smithsonian and all those museums are free to get in, but they are requiring a reservation right now. So you wanna make sure you do that ahead. There was quite a long line of people waiting to get in at 12 o'clock, but once 12 o'clock hit, the line inside went by really fast. And there was tons of food trucks along the street. So if you needed a snack while you're waiting in line, you could get a snack. You cannot take food in the building. You can take bottled water. It was so fun. I am tired. Long day yesterday. I didn't sleep the greatest, but I'm super glad that I got out. And I'm gonna eat lunch. I have to be downstairs in 2 hours, and I'm going to recharge my phone battery and recharge my batteries. here in San Diego, and it is blustery out. The rain has kind of stopped, but it was almost iffy if we were gonna make it here today. It might snow or something in LA. I don't know. The weather here on the West Coast is crazy. We went from the East Coast all the way across the country to the West Coast. Really good day flying, really good crew. So I was on my favorite plane, 800 Max, and in the back with my favorite galley. So there's just two of us, the B and the D. I am tired. It is almost 1 a.m. Went down and got a pizza and a drink with some of my crew. And it's supposed to be crappy and rainy here tomorrow, so probably not going outside. But the room is hot, so I'm gonna cool it off with my patio door open. All right, see you in the morning. Day 3, here we come. Good afternoon, everybody. It's about 1:30 here in San Diego. I slept in. It was raining this morning. The rain has tapered off, but it's blustery outside, and I'm not gonna do it today. So I thought I'd give you a quick room tour.
As you come into the hotel room, we've got the bathroom. There's that makeup bag I'm gonna review. All right, so almost all my crap is on the bed because I had to wash the wheels of my suitcase. I ran through some mud in Denver and my wheels were literally caked in mud. They were caked. So I had to put some water in the bathtub, roll my suitcase around in the bathtub, and I promise you I cleaned the bathtub out afterwards because it was yucky, and I hope my wheels will work better today. So my suitcase is pretty much empty. Got desk over here, which I have my Hot Logic on and I did my charging on. All right, I've got cinnamon buns in there right now and a really pretty view. I love San Diego. I love it. So it was rainy, windy last night. Been hanging out on the bed. And there you go, quick room tour.
And then I wanted to answer a question from the last video that seems to have come up in the comment section. All right, so one of the comments that I saw in my video last week when I talked about being off reserve was maybe some confusion that I was on reserve every month for the last 9 years, and that's not true. So our system isn't truly an A-B system, which I believe is how United is. It's loud up there. It typically is about a month on reserve, a month with a schedule, or what we call a line. There's a lot of different factors that are so complex that I don't even understand all of them after 9 years. I'm not gonna try to go in through the minutia. People are on vacation because when you're on vacation, you have to have a schedule. So that can change the reserve rotation. When new people come in, the rotation changes. But typically, on average, it's every other month. Reserve, schedule, reserve, schedule. Sometimes it can be reserve, sometimes it can be schedule, but just wanted to clarify that. I love to answer questions. I love to say hey back. So if you have any questions about this video, questions about flight attendant life, put it below. I love to interact with you guys. I wanted to tell you guys a cute story about my D last night. He was what I call a galley gourmet, and he had a huge food bag, and I don't even think the photo does it justice. It was probably double or triple the size of mine. He cooked in the back galley. He had what I have. He had a bigger Hot Logic. He had a plug. He had his own power for his Hot Logic. He was chopping up chives and cilantro and mixing it and doing all this stuff. He was truly a galley gourmet. Me, I like to pre-make my stuff because if I have to prepare it in the back galley and we don't have a 3.5-hour flight, then this mama's not eating. But yeah, I'm just hanging out today. I am enjoying kind of doing nothing, but I am excited to bring you back to San Diego. So I'm going to continue to just hang out. I am going to pack up. And then we have one flight to Denver today. I'm super excited. It looks like the weather is going to cooperate. I know it's crazy weather in California, and it's like 60 degrees in Denver, so I'm excited to go home. If you've made it this far, again, in the vlog, hit subscribe, hit like. I appreciate it so much. So we're gonna continue with this day. So what am I doing this afternoon? Kind of nothing. I'm loving it. If you're a parent out there, a mom or a dad, you know that being able to just not do anything sometimes is like a vacation in itself. So I just brewed coffee for myself. I heated up some of those cinnamon rolls that we got from that Spirit flight attendant 2 days ago. I'm gonna throw them away after I have one little one. And I ate my leftover pizza from last night for brunch or breakfast, but I'm gonna have a little snack. I gotta figure out, I probably need to get food for the flight home. I've gotta see how much more chicken salad I have, what else I have in my food bag. Again, I'm nothing like Vincent last night, but I gotta figure out food for home. I've got to pack up that mess, and we will continue on. One flight home to Denver today. The weather in Denver is gorgeous. It's like 58 to 60 degrees today. It's supposed to be that way tomorrow. Being in DC made me feel like spring was actually gonna happen. Daffodils were blooming. They think the cherry blossoms are gonna bloom early this year. I cannot wait to bring you guys back to San Diego. I love this overnight. So look for another vlog. I will have to hunt for a trip for next month. We'll see. So interesting about next month in reserve. I am, right now, I have 2 reserve blocks on my schedule. And I know you guys might be thinking, but Elizabeth, you're off reserve. So one of the privileges at my carrier is we can pick up other people's reserve blocks or trips for cash. And so that's what I did. I picked up a reserve block for the first couple days of March, which for us is overtime, to try to hide and not have to work, but get paid for 18 hours. So that'll be the next vlog. So let's see if that works. All right, stay tuned. We're headed to the airport in a little bit. Dressed and ready to go downstairs. I just want to point out that I did not leave the tub a mess. I did wipe it out for housekeeping. I try my darndest to leave the rooms pretty tidy. All right, one to Denver. Let's go. We made it on the plane. It was late clearing customs. They got here at like 3:30. It's almost 6 o'clock now.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, thanks for joining us on our flight to Denver.
So we were standing outside waiting for the plane for almost an hour. I think they're almost unloading bags. I'm ready to go home. Let's go. All right, I'm home. My house is a mess. Oh, I went to Del Taco on the way home. I'm hungry. 2 out of the 3 kids are watching NCIS. The other one's just wandering around. It's 10:30 p.m.
I'm not watching NCIS.
Oh, Hannah's not watching NCIS. Oh, someone's bringing a cat. It's a cat. So interesting, we have the same pilots all 3 days. It was strange, it's not normal. Typically we have multiple sets of pilots. It was kind of nice. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the sky.